And I was hanging out with Jasmine Horn, who's another great singer. And she's like, "Oh, that's Cecile." Like, okay, who? She's like, "Hey, Cecile, this is my friend Solomon." She's like, "Oh," she's like, "It's nice to meet you." I was like, "Yeah, nice meeting you too." I was like, "Who is that?" When she left, I was like, "Who is that?" And she said, "That's Cecile McLaurin Salvant. She just won the Thelonious Monk competition." I was like, "Oh, that's the one that stole a gig from Shawnee." I was just, I'm sorry, but that was what was going on in my head. And yeah, so then I put her off in the back burner, and I had never really heard her sing. I hadn't listened to any of the records, anything. Um, One day I had a gig at Mesro, like one of my first gigs. Spike gave me 2 nights at Mesro one day, and he was like, "All right, you can get anybody you want." And I was like, "Oh, I got a bright idea. Let me get a singer this time because I had done duo with Roy once. Let me get a singer." I was like, "Okay, well, who you gonna get?" So I was like, "Oh, I don't know who I'm gonna get. Spike needs to know this tomorrow. I don't know who to get." And I was talking to my friend Kristen Ingebretson, and she was like, "Call Cecile." I was like, "Call who?" She said, "Call Cecile McLaurin Salvant." I said, "Ain't she famous? Didn't she just win a Grammy? Was she just nominated for a Grammy or something?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "She's not gonna want to play with me." She said, "Why not, Sullivan?" I said, "Well, because she's famous," and I'm like, "Nobody. Why would she want to play with me?" And she's like, "Sullivan, shut up and call her." So I wrote a message on Facebook. It was like, "Cecile, my name is Sullivan. I don't know if we've met, if you remember me, but I have this gig coming up at Mesro. Would you want to do it?" She was like, "Yeah." So we had a rehearsal, maybe either the day before or that day, and I remember just being completely nervous going to her house and completely scared and just like, "Oh God, this is gonna be rough." And she came off to me. I told her. She came off to me being very, very cold and kind of almost intimidating. Although, but she was nervous. It wasn't that she was cold. She just came off very intimidating, very like professional. I was like, okay, cool. I would crack a joke. She wouldn't laugh. I was like, dang, I must be corny as hell. So, so anyway, we do the gig at Mesro, and from the first tune, after the first tune, we both looked at each other. We were like, let's do this. Let's do another tune. And that night in particular was one of those nights that I'll never forget because it was like it automatically felt like home when I played with her. I was just like, "Man, like you get me." She's like, "You get me. Let's do this again. We got to do this again." I was like, "Yeah, I'm down." Yeah. And so since then, it's been a duo partnership. Dan Hall. He is probably he's my musical father. If I would say anything, if I the least that I could say about him is that he saved my life. Because I thought I was stupid trying to pursue a music that I knew very little about, and he gave me the confidence and instilled in me not really even the confidence because I still have a lot of problems in that arena, but he definitely told me that it's just nice to have somebody in your corner that believes in you and doesn't want anything in return. You know what I mean? He's the most giving, selfless human being that I know. You know what I mean? And I will love that man forever for that and what he gave me and what he gave of himself for me. Um, Totally in debt to them. In Manhattan School of Music, I had two teachers, particularly. Jason Moran, Phil Markowitz.
Phil Markowitz.
Phil was very, very harsh with me at times.
Ooh.
He was very, very honest.
Very honest.
Very honest.
Very
brutally honest.
Yeah.
But he taught me organization. And he taught me the importance of balance. You know, it's just like, okay, you have all of this material, but you don't know how to use it. You don't know how to use it yet. You have a lot of stuff that you can do, but you don't know how to use it or when to use it. And you don't know how to organize in a way that it makes musical sense. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. Jason Moran is the reason, if anybody, Jason Moran opened my mind up to solo piano playing. If it were not for him, I would be like a headless duck when it comes to playing by myself. You know, he really taught me the importance of understanding that art and understanding that if you can play solo piano, you can play any kind of piano. And he gave me, and he hit me to a lot of different opportunities to play. Like I wouldn't have played with Stephon Harris if it weren't for him. I wouldn't have had the gigs that I had at the Kennedy Center if it weren't for him. You know what I mean? Like he was really not just a teacher, but almost like an older brother. And I can even now still go to him. I talked to him maybe a few months ago. I can always go to him for advice, or, you know, I told him, you know, about the piano that I bought, and he was like, well, what kind is it? What you doing with it? How you taking care of it? Make sure you get the humidification system. Make sure you know, just a very concerned, hands-on person in my life, you know, from a distance, but still. And you need people like that, you know. And that's my dude, you know. Fred Hirsch is another one that is very, very hands-on and very, you know, very honest. He'll let you know if he doesn't like something. He has a way of being very intimidating too. But there's been quite a few opportunities that I've been afforded. Particularly the Cole Porter Fellowship. It's because of Fred Hirsch. You know. And you know, duo concerts and solo concert I'm doing at St. Stephen's Church, and you know, we talk sometimes and hang out, and you know, he's just been very supportive, very honest when I need it, very brutal when I need that. But he's also very supportive. My advice would be to number one, study. Don't just listen to your favorite singers, but listen to the people that they listen to. Only sing music that speaks to you. If you don't believe in it, if you do not believe in it, you cannot sing it. You have to be able to feel it. And that's something that all the great singers had, from Bessie Smith to Aretha Franklin. They all had that. You know what I mean? Know the history, know the instrument, understand what makes up the instrument, what it takes to be able to achieve, you know, technical freedom. You know, to be able to get up there and just say, okay, I'm going to sing, and not really know what you have to know, knowing how to breathe, knowing how to articulate words, you know, knowing what words to slur, what words to connect, understanding the fabric of a tune, things that make up a song, you know what I mean? What's the original phrase? How can I manipulate that phrase? You know, really being a scientist about a song and really being a scientist about your voice. Know how to communicate to your musicians. To musicians in general, especially your musicians. Knowing how to trust the musicians that you're playing with. You know, call a song, pick a key and know that they're gonna play that key for you. You know, and know that they got your back even if you mess up. They'll play the melody for you, and all you gotta do is just stop and listen to the people that you're playing with and trust that they'll guide you. Having your own sense of feel and time. Not depending on somebody else to keep time for you. To really look at yourself not as a singer, but as an instrumentalist and as a musician. That's just singing words. That's using their bodies to articulate to portray the sound, as opposed to using an instrument as a barrier. You know what I mean? That's how I view. I almost view Mulgrew Miller said he viewed himself as a singer that the barrier was his piano, but he was essentially a singer. You know, Roy Hargrove, same way. I play like a singer. The trumpet is my barrier, but I'm a singer. You know what I mean? You know, with a singer, you have no barriers. But what's up here? You know what I mean? So if you kind of just free yourself from anything that could hinder you to be able to be a clear vessel, a clear channel for the music to come through you.
How about the piano player who play with a vocalist?
Pianist who plays with a vocalist.
What would you advise?
To be sympathetic. To know the type of singer that you're playing with. And to understand that there's some things that call for certain situations. Kind of like going back to my upbringing in the church. There's like certain things that you play to create a certain type of atmosphere. And knowing what that is and learning when and when not to use that. You know, being sympathetic to the fact that yes, there is a singer. And I'm not supposed to play every alteration that I know. That it's okay for me to play simple. And to just play a chord. You know what I mean? That it's okay also. And then from there, you can expand. But make sure that the nucleus and the center of the song is kept intact first. You know what I mean? To understand that I'm accompanying a singer, which means I have to know the song. I have to know how the arc of the song, or have an idea of how the arc of the song and the message behind the song. And how to play around the message of the song. How to deal with, you know, how to deal with volume and support. Not playing too loud. You know what I mean? Just kind of like supplying, like what Fred Hurst says, supplying like a warm bath for them to just kind of just lay in and just rest in and be cool. But yeah, one of the main things I would definitely say is to have sympathy for the singer. Think about the harmony, think about the rhythm, think about the melody. And what chords can I play that enhances or takes away from what he or she is trying to say.